Hello and welcome everyone. If you have not received a copy of your BSW series workbook, please be sure to grab one. If you're watching this online, there will be a link in the show notes where you will find the downloadable worksheets for today's episode. If you don't see it, you can go to entrefluencer.club and look for the workshop link and then in the menu bar to access it there. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes here. So, hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The title of today's workshop is called Understanding Your Customer Know Them to Serve Them Market Research for Startups. This is the third of 12 modules in the Bespoke Startup Workshop Series, which has been strategically designed for aspiring entrepreneurs and influencers, as well as early stage business owners who want a step by step roadmap that explains how to launch their first or subsequent business the right way, vastly improving their chance for success. Today's workshop is sponsored by Coleman Tanner Consulting, your source for strategic business solutions. Buckle up, because Clayton is about to make his most important move yet. After running the numbers, Clayton felt something shift. His idea wasn't just exciting, it was possible. With enough clients and the right positioning, it could actually replace his salary. But one major piece was still missing. He realized he'd been designing his offer based on his assumptions, not on actual people. So he asked himself, who are my ideal clients really? What do they worry about at night? Where do they spend time online? What do they wish someone would help them with? So Clayton grabbed a coffee, opened his laptop, and started doing the one thing that most first time founders skip: real market research. Not guessing, not hoping, listening, asking, understanding, period. Today, Clayton is going deep, and so are we. In this session, you'll learn how to identify and define your ideal customer, where to find real, unfiltered customer insights, how to gather research that guides your messaging, offer, and marketing. So let's begin. Now, my lawyer, that would be me, tells me that I have to share this disclaimer up front so that I can comply with federal and state law. This workshop provides general information and insights for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be, nor should be, construed as legal or financial advice. The information presented is not a substitute for professional advice tailored to your specific circumstances. You should consult with a qualified legal, financial, or licensed professional advisors before making any decisions based on the information provided in this workshop. We make no warranties or guarantees regarding the success, profitability, or other outcomes resulting from any application of any of the information presented in this workshop. Participants are solely responsible for their own actions, decisions, and the consequences thereof. Reliance on any information provided in this workshop is at your own risk. We disclaim any and all liability for any errors, inaccuracies, or omissions in the information provided, as well as any losses or damages that may arise from your reliance on this information. Please consult with your own legal and financial advisors to ensure that the information presented in this workshop is appropriate for your specific needs and situation. Thank you. Before we proceed, here's a few housekeeping workshop rules. Please be respectful of other people and the comments that they make inside of our comment section. Today's agenda includes 3 presentations and 3 hands-on activities. And while it's a good idea to test and debate ideas, given the limited time available for this workshop, we're not going to entertain challenges during the workshop, but you're encouraged to challenge these ideas on your own after the workshop. Let's make this a positive and engaging experience for all participants at any time that they come and participate in this workshop. whether now or in the future. Thank you. Okay, so before we proceed, I'd like to take a minute to properly introduce myself. I wrote and self-published, a book called The Bespoke Startup, a business incubator guide for aspiring entrepreneurs to give others what I wish I had when I was first launching my very first business. Oops, I went too far. Give me a second. Let me go back a sec. Here we are. Clicked on the wrong button. So my business mission is to provide small business owners with guidance to successfully launch, scale, and then eventually sell your business to using micro M&A and private equity to achieve the pinnacle of financial freedom. So let me tell you about my company. We have 3 branches inside of Coleman Tanner Enterprises, technically 4. So we have the real estate division, financial management division, the small business consulting division, and then there's the Entrefluential Life or Entrefluential Training Company. At Coleman Tanner Realty, we help entrepreneurs buy and sell businesses. At Coleman Tanner Financial, we manage the bookkeeping, tax preparation, payroll, business valuation, financial management, and advisory services to our business owner clients, as well as assist with entity formation. At Coleman Tanner Consulting, we help with corporate formation, regulatory compliance, and specialize in developing bespoke startup strategies to quantum leap businesses from entrepreneurial endeavors to enterprise gazelles, which is nomenclature for a rapidly growing firm. Our end game is to help you place your business in a position to exit so that you can get a golden parachute when you exit in about 3 to 7 years from startup time, so that you can have the time and money freedom to achieve your next life goal, whether that be to launch your next business or to travel around the world with your family and do anything and everything in between. At the Entrefluencer Training Company, we guide startup entrepreneurs through the foundational stages of ideation, validation, branding, market research, and launch, as well as provide marketing tips, recommendations for back office tools and support, and instructions on how to use your small business improvement matrix to mitigate risks, which is comprised of 12 different sections, so that you can optimize your business for quantum growth. The Bespoke Startup Workshop Series is designed to guide aspiring entrepreneurs, startup founders, and early stage small business owners. Now, I'd like you to take out a sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns. In column number 1, I want you to draw a 1. In column 2, draw a 2. And in column 3, draw a number 3. Now, I'd like you to answer the following questions by giving yourself a rating from 1 to 5 in the first column, with a 1 being a low score, like an F in grade school, and a 5 being a top score, like an A in grade school. The first question is, how well do you know who you are selling to? If you have a sound idea, give yourself a 5. If you have no idea, give yourself a 1. If you somewhat know, give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. Now I want you to do the same thing for the next question in column number 2. Do you know how to listen to the market? If you know, give yourself a 5. If you have no idea, give yourself a 1. If you have some idea, give yourself a rating from 2 to 4. Okay, our third and final question in this self-assessment is, are you validating your assumptions with conversations? If you know this idea is already generating revenue for others, give yourself a 5. If you have no idea if anybody is making money doing this, give yourself a 1. If you're somewhat aware of others doing something close to your idea, then go ahead and give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. Okay, the self assessment isn't here to wag a finger at your foggy ideas. Nope. It's all about shining a light on how to polish up your business brainwaves. Remember, a top notch business is one that everyone wants a piece of. And so we're going to talk about who you're really selling to, and we're going to get very clear about your demographics, and we're going to talk to your audience, and we're going to find out what they want so we can give them what they want. If you have any burning questions before we kick off this mini show and tell, then go ahead and write them in the comments. And as soon as I get them, I'll respond back to them. Thank you. Okay, so we want to define our ideal client avatar using 3 different layers. The first one is demographics, which is age, location, profession. The second one is psychographics. What are their values? What are they frustrated by? And what are their goals? What are they trying to accomplish? And the third category is buying behaviors. What have they bought before? And how did they make a decision when they made that purchase? The better we can answer those questions, the better we can know our clients. And that way we can curate our communication to them so that we have a message to market match. More on that later. So we're going to create a profile using our ideal client avatar based on our past clients, our peers in the niche area that we're serving, as well as identifying ourselves 2 to 5 years ago. Okay, so here's a bonus tip. Once you can narrow down your ideal client avatar to one ideal client and make one clear offer and write down one clear message, you're ready to go. Okay, so that concludes our first mini presentation. And now we're going to have a short hands-on activity where you can take this lesson from conceptual to practical. We're going to create an ideal client avatar using our worksheet to refine our startup business idea. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to fill in the following information: name, age, career, lifestyle, what problems they face, what they've already tried but didn't work, what outcome they dream of, what kind of goal are they trying to get to, whether that's solving a pain or satisfying a desire, and where do they go to get advice? Are they on YouTube? Do they listen to podcasts, etc.? So here's your prompt. Give your ideal client avatar a name and write 2 to 3 sentences that describe their life. Okay, so I'm gonna. I want you to pause the video to go ahead and accomplish that that task, and then when you're done, hit the play button. I'll be here waiting. All right, so let's say that you already got your hands-on activity done. Now we're going to compare it to Clayton and see what he wrote down for his hands-on activity. All right, so Clayton wrote down that his ideal client avatar's name is Olivia. Olivia is 32 years old. Her profession is that she's a startup coach and consultant. Her frustration is that she struggles to clearly communicate her service benefits. And her dream outcome is simple, confident messaging that converts leads into clients. All right, let's move on to our second mini presentation of the day. In the upcoming lesson, we're going to explore how to listen to the market. Presentation number 2, where to find the truth. Where can you listen to the true voice of your ideal client avatar? Let's find out. So here are some sources of the voice of your customer in your research. You can go to Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and YouTube comments. You can read Amazon book and product reviews, in your niche. You can look at customer testimonials, and you can conduct surveys and poll responses using Instagram, for instance, or you can do direct mail surveys, and you can conduct one-on-one interviews with about 5 to 7 people that are your ideal clients. That could be your potential clients. Here's what to look for: repeated words or phrases. Some things that people are saying that keep coming up over and over again are good clues to what people are dealing with, how they think, and it's fuel for framing your message. What problems have they tried solving? What are the emotions that they express? Are they frustrated? Do they have fear? Are they hopeful? This is all ammunition in your arsenal of message to market match. Okay, let me tell you about the so that rule. I want help with blank so that I can blank. That second half equals your true value proposition. Okay, so for our next hands-on activity, we're going to do some online listening. Let's go to the instructions. You're going to choose one of the following: a specific keyword to look for on Reddit. You're going to look for reviews on Amazon for a related book that speaks to the topic that you're going to be working with, your niche area. And you're going to browse testimonials from your computer. I want you to record 3 quotes that stand out and what they tell you about your ideal customer. So go ahead and pause the video to complete the assignment. And when you come back, we'll go back to Clayton's compass and see what his entrepreneurial journey is leading him to and where it's leading us. See you in a few minutes. Okay, so you did your homework, or your classwork rather, and now we're here to see what Clayton wrote down for his compass, for his work in activity number 2, which is online listening. And so he found the following 2 quotes. Number 1, I'm great at what I do, but I don't know how to explain it clearly. And the second quote, I wish someone could just help me put the right words on my site. So they want to be able to explain what they do, and they want to put the right words on their site so people can understand what they do. Okay. Now it's crunch time. We're going to go ahead and move into the accelerating conclusion of workshop number 3, and this third mini presentation of our trilogy, which will validate with conversations. All right, so the title of this first slide here in this presentation is Ask, Don't Assume. 5 questions to ask in your discovery calls when you do the 5 to 7 interviews with your ideal client avatars, your prospects. These are 5 questions that you can use in that interview to gather information so that you can understand what they want and not assume that you know what they want. When it comes out of their own mouth, you can have much more clarity, which is going to give you the valuable information that you need to have a message to market match so that you can present the right information to your ideal client avatars, and you can roll it out in a larger scale to get more clients. So it's really important to take this time and speak clearly with a few people, 5 to 7, that can give you that information so that you can reach a whole lot more people more effectively. So question number 1 is, what's your biggest frustration with blank? Whatever that blank is your niche area. So like, for instance, with Clayton, he's working on helping business coaches have a clear message to their audience. So if I'm Clayton and I'm speaking to a prospective client who is a business coach, I'm going to say, what's your biggest frustration with communicating with prospective clients? All right, let's move to question 2. What have you tried that didn't work? Easy peasy. Yeah, they did this, they did that. Write it down. What would be a perfect solution? I'm sorry. What would a perfect solution look like? You get it. Well, I would be able to communicate clearly to my prospective client. I would be able to say the right words on my website that attracts them, that answers the question that they're looking to, to solve. Question number 4. What's stopping you from solving it? Well, maybe I'm afraid. I'm not really good at writing words. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm great at analyzing, but I'm not really great at communicating what it is, the solutions that I provide for my customers, et cetera, et cetera. Number 5, if this problem were fixed, what would that mean for you? Now, that question right there is getting to the emotional response that they want to feel. In other words, if you fix this problem for me, it means that I'm going to actually win clients and make more money. And then I'll have more ability to buy the things that I want to buy. I can go and buy a new Nautica shirt. Okay. So those are the kind of things that you want to get at is start forward pacing, right? Future pacing what their life is going to look like when they have the solution that you're providing. That's why you're asking question number 5. Very strategic. Okay. You want to start with informal chats. So these are 3 suggestions that you can use in order to get the conversation going to lead them from perfect stranger, cold traffic, to warm them up with these 3 informal chats: a DM, a voice message that you can send on your phone, or the 15-minute discovery call. And you can actually go sequentially from the DM in Instagram, for instance, to a voice message on the Instagram, right? So, like, instead of typing the words, you can actually record yourself and say something to them. I would start off with a couple of text messages back and forth via DM, right? Direct message to the person. Hey, thank you so much for downloading that PDF. How did that work out for you? Great. And then you then you send a new DM them like the next day. Hey, this is so and so. Listen, I'm just curious, would you be interested in jumping on a call with me to answer about 5 to 7 questions? I'm just gathering some information, doing some surveys from prospective clients so that I can zero in on my product messaging, my service messaging. And then you send that to them, the voice message, right? So now they're interacting with you in a higher level than just a cold message. Like, maybe you can display some warmth in text, but not as well as a voice. And when they hear your voice, they resonate with you. If they like the content that you've been creating and they've been following you for a while, they may be more inclined to respond back from that voice note that you send, the voice note, to go ahead and agree with the 15-minute discovery call. Sure. Yeah, John, I'd be happy to jump on the call with you. When were you planning on doing this? Thanks so much for offering. Here's my calendar link. You can schedule it that one of the dates that matches your calendar, that fits into your calendar. Thanks so much for this. I really appreciate it. So then you send them on the response DM a link to your calendar app, right? I use Calendly, for instance. So it would be a link to that. Now you can jump on that 15-minute phone call and you start asking questions and you start building more rapport with the person. They may even decide to go ahead and do business with you now, that person, or maybe not. Either way, you win, right? Because you're gathering information that's going to be useful to serving other people that are in that same tribe of people that need your help. So either you're going to win a client right there, or you're going to win information that's going to help you land more clients. Win-win. Okay. The next idea here is to record themes. And by themes, I mean, what's the pattern that you see that every person that you're dealing with, that you interview in 5 to 7 interviews, that's recurring in each conversation. That's a theme. All right. So when you're on these conversations, these 5 to 7 discovery calls, right, which are essentially interviews, you don't want to think about selling to them. You're not there to sell, you're there to listen. And this is where your best offer language is going to come from, straight out of their mouths. So look for the themes, look for the patterns in the conversations to determine what that best language is. What is it that they all are having a problem with that you can solve? What is it they're all trying to achieve, what they're trying to get to? Gather that information, and now you have an ability, you have the resource to package your offering in the most compelling way to your tribe. That's the message to market match. And that's really step one of effective marketing. Now, let's dive into our hands-on activity number 3, the interview tracker. I want you to make a list of 5 people that you could talk to in the next 7 days. I want you to write your version of the 5 interview questions that I shared with you, or copy the ones that I gave you and use those. Then I want you to schedule the first 1 to 2 calls this week. And here's a bonus prompt. If you're bold enough, I challenge you to share one quote that you've already learned from somebody inside of your audience, from someone in your tribe of ideal clients. Share that in the comments section so that we can see and respond to it. And that holds you accountable to achieving this homework hands-on activity. So go ahead and pause the video and write your 5 questions, and then hit the play button when you're ready to go forward. Okay, so I'm assuming that you already did the 5 questions. We're ready to move on. Let's check back in with Clayton one more time and see what he discovered and what his next steps will be. Okay, Clayton's 5 discovery questions are the following. What's your biggest frustration around communicating your offer? What have you tried to fix it? What would success look like for you? How do you typically hire someone to help? What's the biggest hesitation you have when hiring messaging help? Okay, you can either borrow from Clayton or make a hybrid of these 5 questions, or go back to the previous 5 examples that I gave you earlier. The point is, get your 5 questions down and start scheduling those conversations so that you can gather some valuable, much needed information. And let's conclude. I want to thank you all for joining us for today's Bespoke Startup Workshop Series. Here's a concise summary of the key takeaways. Number 1, you can't serve who you don't understand. Number 2, market research doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. And number 3, your ideal client avatar's words become your sales page. They become your emails and your sales pitch. Now, here's your homework assignment. I want you to schedule 1 to 2 customer discovery interviews in the next 7 days, preferably 5 to 7, but at least 1 to 2. And I want you to refine your ICA profile, your ideal client avatar profile, with quotes and language that you learn from today's activity. And number 3, I want you to come back and join us next time for workshop number 4, Proving It, surveys, interviews, and pre-selling your concept. Now it's your turn to ask me questions. Since you're watching this replay of this podcast, of this workshop rather, please go ahead and add it in the comment section so that I can respond back to you and so that others can respond back and we can have a conversation. Let's open up the dialogue. That's a wrap for our workshop for today. Huge thanks for being a part of the fun. Before you dash off, let me drop my contact information here so that you can snag more goodies like this in the future. Or if you're fancying teaming up, I'm here and you know where to find me. So please go ahead and snap a picture of this slide for your future reference. And I'd be thrilled if you would pass it along to anybody else that could benefit from this content. Let's keep the conversation going. Please join me back for episode number 4, workshop number 4. And I wish you all epic wins on your entrefluential adventure. Lastly, please accept my heartfelt thank you for inviting me into your home, your office, your mobile device to facilitate this workshop for you. I truly appreciate the opportunity to serve you as a business broker, advisor, consultant, and educator. And I look forward to collaborating with you again in the very near future. Take care and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye for now.